Coach Dave here, and so, well, the sign says Accordion Cool, so that must be what we're doing. All right. Well, we're staying with our alphabet for at least another week here, and first song I'm going to give you a little clue as to what letter we're in this week. S. St. Louis Blues was that first song. Now, that was written in 1914 by a fellow named W.C. Handy. That's sort of like, you know, the granddaddy of all blues that came after that. And the cool thing about that is even if you're not a jazz player, the actual melody is almost, you know, just like a jazz solo. So anybody can play that and, you know, almost sound cool. Almost well, I don't know about that, but great tune. St. Louis Blues. We'll go to 1962 for this song. And there was a vocalist, and he was pretty popular, but he had lost a lot of his popularity, almost to the word on the street is almost to the point where he was, you know, almost out of the business, and his son took over his management. And then they found a song that he recorded in 1962, and ever since then he's been going strong, even at the age of, I believe, about 95 now. He played with Lady Gaga. He did an album with Lady Gaga. His name was Antonio Di Benedetto. We all know him better as Tony Bennett. And, of course, the song is, well, we call it San Francisco. The real title is I Left My Heart In. But, you know, us cool musicians just say San Francisco. So it could have been an I song, but with the San Francisco, we make it an S song. So here is San Francisco. I left my heart, or just plain old San Francisco. I was there once, I think. Did get out to see Alcatraz. That was pretty impressive, I want to tell you. But I guess there's a couple of folks that actually escaped from Alcatraz, and I wouldn't want to make that swim, I'll tell you. And you know, I guess they never found them, so I guess they don't know whether they made it or didn't make it. And as a former triathlete and terrible swimmer, I can tell you, I would never try that swim. So I think they're probably in some shark's belly now or something. But anytime, enough of that. All right. 1934, George Gershwin wrote some songs. Well, he wrote a lot of songs. And he wrote a song for a show called Porgy and Bess. Now, we're taping this show today on the last day of summer. Tomorrow, it all goes downhill from here. So I thought it met our criteria, and, you know, summertime, we got to remember it. So here we go. Summertime. I don't get a lot of requests for that song, but every time I do play it, somebody has a positive reaction to it. I think it's one of those songs that everybody knows and everybody likes, and they don't think of it at the time, but when they hear it, it's like one of those, you know, oh yeah songs. So Summertime, Summertime. Now this next song is kind of interesting. Written by Johnny Smith. Johnny Smith, I don't know if he's still with us or not, but either is or was a great, great guitar player. And you've heard me mention the name Art Van Dam many times, the granddaddy of all this jazz accordion stuff. Well, he and Johnny Smith, or Johnny Smith actually with the Art Van Dam Quintet, they did an album in 1963. And this song was actually introduced in that album, and is a song that Johnny Smith had written. Now, I've never heard the song anywhere else, and I don't know why I bothered to get involved with it, but it's kind of a cool, it's a simple song. Of course, sometimes those are the worst, but just a fun little song to play, and it's called Satan's Doll. Satan's Doll. Well, you know, I can tell by the old clock on the wall we're going to have a little bit of extra time today because some of these songs are pretty short. So I'm going to squeeze one in right now. And speaking of summer, this is a Frank Sinatra tune from around 1963, I believe, called The Summer Wind. So here we go. That old summer wind. The cool thing about that song is actually, if you've ever paid attention to the lyrics, you know, that and the words, it goes right through the scene, you know, like the summer wind and then the fall wind, I think, and then the winter wind, and I'm not sure if the spring wind jumps in there or not, but kind of a cool, again, another simple little, today, I guess today is Simple Song Day and simple perform, never mind. All right, we had Satan's Doll, and of course the one that you might confuse with a name is called Satin Doll. 1953, written by Duke Ellington and a fellow named Billy Strayhorn. Duke Ellington led the Duke Ellington Orchestra for 50 years, on the road, traveling around the world. 50 years he did that, 50 years. And I guess the word on the street is once you were a member of the Duke Band, unless you really screwed up bad or you just wanted out, you had a gig or a job for life. And I know there's a trombone player named Juan Teisel, and he wrote a lot of the Duke songs. But Billy Strayhorn was a piano player and a songwriter. Well, you know, being a piano player in the Duke Band was like being, you know, backup quarterback to Tom Brady. I mean, you're not going to play. But he was a great songwriter, and he and Duke collaborated, and they worked together on many, many great tunes. And this, of course, was one of them, Satin Doll. Satin Doll, Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn. Great, great classic tune. I don't know how many years I've been playing that song, but I've been playing that song for a lot of years, and I do it in just about every live show I do. So, and sometimes I even play it right, or close to right. You know, of course, you know, with this style of music, you're never going to hear anything exactly the same way twice. It might be the same arrangement and same song, but something somewhere along the line is going to be a little different, and that's what makes me love this kind of music, because you're not stuck into playing exactly what somebody else wrote and they thought it was good and you may not like it. But anyway, enough of that. Getting down to close to the end of our time here, and this last song came from 1944. It was written by, I think, 3 different people together, but the main person was a fellow named Les Brown. You may say, Les Brown, I've heard that name. Well, Les Brown had a big band, and it was called Les Brown Band of Renown. Guess that's cute, I don't know. But of course, I personally don't think anybody was any bigger than the Duke Band, but Les Brown was, you know, one of those top, you know, Artie Shaw, Glenn Miller, the Dorsey brothers, when they weren't feuding, and separately when they were feuding. And so, you know, there were a lot of real good big bands out there. So Les Brown pretty much wrote this song, and so what we're going to do as soon as we get out of here is we're going to take a sentimental journey. So here we go. Sentimental Journey, which is just about where we're getting ready to take off to. So, Coach Dave, as usual, and thank you all for tuning in, listening, watching, however you catch our little show here, and it's always a pleasure to play for you folks. And, of course, a big thank you to Austin Ricketts behind the glass, and he hasn't come running out screaming and tearing what little hair he has left out, so I guess I did everything okay today. We had a little problem on our sound check, but that's okay. That's why they call them sound checks, I guess. But anytime I look good, he's the man that's responsible for that. So, you know, the makeup guy didn't show up today, so I hope, you know, everything looks all right, you know. So let's take it home. Oh, I guess, little sentimental.